Good evening. I hereby call to order the May 28th, 2025 meeting of the Gaithersburg Historic District Commission. For a roll call, please answer present when I call your name. Community Planning Manager Jasmine Forbes.
Present.
Preservation Planner Kate San Gregorio.
Present.
Deputy City Attorney Frank Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Mary Jo LaFrance.
Present.
Commissioner Mark Feinstein.
Present.
Commissioner Rudy Morgan.
Present.
Commissioner and Vice Chairman John Roddy.
Present.
And myself, Commissioner and Chairman Diamatolis, is present, and we have a quorum. And so next is our preliminary statement, which is as follows. This commission is empowered to meet and act under Article 12 of the City Code of Gaithersburg. The technical qualifications of the staff of this commission and the members of this commission are on file with the City of Gaithersburg, are available on request to any applicant, and are hereby made a part of the legal record for each and every application heard tonight. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Lastly, any member of the public who wishes to speak on one of tonight's applications will be given 3 minutes to address the HDC from the podium at the reserved time, but we ask that you refrain from speaking out from the audience and you take any private conversations outside of the council chambers. Okay, does anyone have any conflicts of interest for anything being heard tonight? Okay, I see here no one. Okay. Next, then, we have approval of 2 sets of minutes, the first being from our March 26th meeting. Does any commissioner have any corrections that they'd like to propose?
No.
Okay, very good. So then I make a motion to adopt the minutes. As written, may I have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, so all those in favor of adopting the minutes as written, so please say aye.
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 5-0, it passes. Very good, thank you. Next, then, we have our April 23rd minutes. Does any commissioner have any corrections or additions to those minutes they'd like to see made? No? Okay, very good. Then I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes as written. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of adopting the minutes, say aye.
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 5-0, passes again. Good, thank you very much. All right, next up, first really on the agenda is we have a historic work permit, which is HIST 10042-2025, dormer window replacement at 309 North Frederick Avenue in the City Corridor Development Zone. May we have an introduction from staff, please?
Yes, HIST 10042-2025 is for 309 North Frederick Avenue. It's an application for window replacement, and this property is individually designated as the Talbot House. For some background, the original wooden 4/1 double hung windows were removed from the dormers on the north and south elevation. This is the facade shown here, where the windows are still present. New single pane windows were installed in the opening without approval, which was inappropriate as per the guidelines. The windows should have been repaired or, if absolutely necessary, replaced in kind. To rectify this violation, the existing windows should be replaced with ones that match the old. Here you can see the old south elevation dormer windows on the left. It's not the best picture, it's Google Street View. But the right are the current windows in the same dormer. The applicant now proposes to install custom-made wooden windows that will match the old, using the remaining windows on the first floor as a reference. This is appropriate as per the guidelines to satisfy the violation. Staff recommends that the Historic District Commission, based on the exhibits submitted, the applicant's testimony, the staff report findings and recommendation, and the windows section of the Historic District Design Guidelines for the Brookes, Russell, and Walker Historic District and individually designated sites, approve HIST 10042-2025, finding it in compliance with Chapter 24, Section 9-4 of the City Code.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you gentlemen the applicants?
Yes.
If you all want to speak, please state your name, and I guess we already know what property you're referring to.
Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay, so my name is Jay Jamil. I'm one of the partners of the location and stuff. We're talking about the window thing. So the reason why the window was changed in the first place it's a very old building. Most of the windows that have been changed at the bottom floor, according to the standards that they was asking for, it's it wasn't an issue because it's covered by, like, there's a wall and a platform that covers it. We've had multiple incidents, even like with other like police officers and stuff coming, where we're like, you know, the area is not a very great area, so we have multiple incidents where people like causing a lot of like trying to break in and stuff. Changing to that type of window stuff, especially the way how it's old and stuff, it could cause like a security issue. That's one of the main thing. The other main reason stuff, initially when we changed the first floor and was approved, I asked if there was any other things that was need to be done, so we don't have to get to this point. I was told everything is fine. Then a month later, when we got the violation, and then that's when we was supposed to change it. Now, what we're trying to work with is like, we are trying to work with you guys and meet you in the middle and like get building custom wooden window, but it's just what was being asked for right now is like to meet certain type of material that is kind of impossible to get in nowadays society, nowadays economy, and nowadays market. Even though like if I change the window and trying to minimize, like put it back to what it was, even like it doesn't look that great. It's just there's multiple obstacles that's being put in my way of trying to make everything up to the standards. Especially we're just renting the building, you know, we're not like owner of the building and everything, and that's where we at right now. I initially I grew up in Montgomery County stuff. Most of like my partners, their businesses in Virginia. I was the reason, like, to convince them trying to come back to the community I grew up in, I graduated from. I'm trying to be for the people, for the community, for Montgomery County where I grew up in. And that's the reason why we opened the store, because I'm trying to work with the local people. I'm for the people, trying to conduct a good, peaceful business. And it's hard to focus on business when I'm keep on meeting these type of obstacles. It's hard, like, you know. And that's
Okay.
where we are today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue if you wanted to. Okay.
No, you're good.
The other gentleman can speak, but let me just clarify. We're really only talking about the second floor window, not first floor or anything else. Isn't that correct? Okay.
I'm familiar with that.
Okay, and if I just so I understood where we are with this, from my understanding, you are going to be putting it back to the image that's on the screen right now.
Correct.
Okay, so I guess my only last question is, are you indicating that you're not going to be doing it out of wood, or you will be?
It has.
All right, boss.
Please state your name then for the record.
Saifuddin Hagi.
Okay, thank you.
So this is what we can provide. Mm-hmm. The wood is not gonna be in the same shape of the old wood, but we're gonna do 2 double hang windows. Mm-hmm. Okay, each of them single hand, not both up and down.
Right.
We're gonna do the 5-inch divider with the 3 grids on the front. With the double face tape is gonna look the same. If you want us guys to build it, to paint it, to show that it's old like before, we're gonna do that.
Okay, great.
So
Okay.
I hope this is gonna satisfy everybody.
So far, so good?
And it's gonna be wood.
Wood,
correct.
wooden window.
Okay, I think. Okay.
Even we're gonna customize it. You know, customized window is gonna cost us a lot, but it is what it is.
Okay. Would you like to speak at all? If so, please state your name.
My name is Hasib. I'm from Royal
Is
Distribution.
that your first or last name?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
First, give both your first and last name.
Yes.
please.
My first name is Hasib. My last name is Waziri.
Thank you.
I'm representing Royal Distribution. They said everything what I was gonna say. This gentleman, he's going to be
Yeah,
in
because I'm the
charge.
one who's gonna do the job.
Yes, he's going to bring back the same look for the window. And he said whatever I was gonna say. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Yeah, we just
before-
wanna mention the lead time, because this is custom size
saying you
window.
need time to do it.
The lead time is gonna take us like 2
Do you have-
months.
2
2
months.
months?
Okay.
Maximum.
Anything further before we go to the public?
No, we're good, sir.
Okay,
We're
good.
good.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Okay, very good. All right, so next then, the public is invited to speak. Anyone from the audience who wishes to speak on, for or against this HAWP, please come to the podium. And I see nobody rushing up to the podium, so do we have anyone waiting online?
I don't see anyone online.
Okay, so there's nobody waiting online. Okay. All right, then I don't need to tell them how to do it then. All right. So next then is let's go to the commissioners. When I call your name, please state your thoughts and questions for the applicant. Commissioner LaFrance, you're up first.
I would suggest that you familiarize yourself with the historic district guidelines. And it's unfortunate the owner of the property didn't tell you it was historically designated when you rented the property.
We know
But if now that you're familiar
Yeah.
and you read them, you'll know in the future. It's very important to be the steward of an historically designated property. And you do have the burden of that, but thank you very much for coming forward and demonstrating that you want to make it right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Commissioner Feinstein?
Yeah, I agree with what Commissioner LeBron said. And we are here as a, as a city to answer questions if you do have them before you make any changes in the future. So that use the resources you have. But the one question I had, are these single glazed windows or double glazed?
It should be.
Single glazed. Okay.
Yeah, single glaze,
Okay.
using the glazing, not the glazing bits.
Okay. Great.
I'm sorry, I wanted to say one more
Please,
thing.
go ahead.
There may be a storm window that could be added to protect it from further damage from the elements, and might also add a little bit more security. You might want to look into that.
Maybe we can get the security bars from inside, not from outside.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those are appropriate. Those are fine. And then, so the dividers, the grids,
They're gonna be wooden dividers.
and true dividers.
Yes.
Not just
Yeah.
applied.
No, it's gonna be a
Okay, great.
strong one.
Great.
Do you want to explain what true divide is for them?
So the glass, it's not one single pane of glass. That's,
No, it is a single pane. Should be a single pane.
That's why I asked you to.
okay.
Because
So,
if it's a double pane, that means it's a modern window.
no, but I'm saying between the grids.
The grid.
Is it one piece of glass, then a grid?
Yes,
then another piece
exactly.
of glass, then
Yeah.
a grid?
Yeah.
So on the top, you actually have 4 pieces of glass.
No, single glass with the dividers, same as the one. That one is not, it's a whole glass, but the divider from outside.
The old one
Grids
was like
from
that?
outside, yeah.
So
Simulated
dividers on
divided.
outside, okay.
Probably only on one, on the outside.
So
But that was, the original wouldn't be like that.
أنا فاهم
The original was
The original-
simulated divided?
No, the original one
هذا
have
ما
been.
تكونش.
Wouldn't have been.
هذيك تولد.
Right, would not have been, oh, I didn't realize that what you said. Sure, no, it
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, so that's an important question.
Can you do true divided, meaning that it's up top would be 4 pieces of glass?
All right, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. That's all I have.
Okay, very
That's how
good.
the ones in the bottom actually are.
The one, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how, yeah, we're trying to match the historic.
Okay, we'll do 4 glasses on the top.
Yeah, and 1 glass on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Good question, very good. Commissioner Morgan?
Thanks for, everything that my colleagues have said, I agree with. Thanks for your attempt to keep your proposal as to basically align with the existing condition. Everything that both of my colleagues have said, you're going to revise your sketch and improvise and implement, put that wording in. You're going to revise your
Well,
Your sketch?
We'll put the wording in. our
yeah. So they
motion.
revise the
Condition.
sketch. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
still
right.
condition.
And you see the lead time is,
2 months.
and you're customizing. What are you?
So they're going to be,
Can you?
they're
can
not
you
twin
elaborate?
windows. The windows,
Okay.
the existing ones, they're not twin.
Okay.
They're not meeting each other's. So there is a divider of 5 inches.
So you building it in your shop or you?
I have guys who can do that.
No.
I'm gonna install it.
You're gonna-
We need a
okay,
carpenter
so-
to do that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. And is it going to be painted or
We're gonna paint it the
You're
same
gonna paint
color
it to
as the
match-
one looking on the
to
street.
match the?
The upper one that looks to the street.
Okay.
The
All
green.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. The 2022 photo is south elevation. You're gonna paint that to match that.
Yes.
Green looking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, if I,
No, it's
may
not
we don't
green,
get
actually.
into,
They're
no,
white.
I'm just kind of get a feel what he's trying to do. to
They're
match.
white.
Huh?
The top ones,
Yeah.
they used to be white.
This should be white.
Because there is a third one. They're not just 2, there is 3 of them. 2, we replaced them, the third one is in the front. So we're gonna match the front one.
The front one.
Yes.
Okay, that's the clarification I'm trying to get. You
Thank
wanna
you.
match the front. Okay, that's what I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good. Commissioner Roddy?
I'm satisfied, if I understand them correctly, that the applicant is going to do everything we've asked them to do. I have no problem.
Okay, and myself, I duplicate what you just said, is that as long as you do true divided up in the upper sash, and the proportions are equal to what was there originally, I have no concerns whatsoever.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's have commissioners open forum. If anybody else wants to jump in, one last, any thoughts? Okay, all right, so, did you want to say something further?
I wonder if we should add a condition for the 4 pieces of glass,
Yes.
however.
Yeah.
That should be
And
added.
true divided with 4
Yeah,
pieces of
true
glass that
divided,
equal
yeah.
the size of the prior or the previous sash. And so, may I have a motion to either approve or deny this hop?
I move that we approve. Or I do second, yeah. I move that we approve. Do I have to read the whole thing?
Why not?
HIST 10042-2025. Dormer window replacement, 309 North Frederick Avenue. That the Historic District Commission, based on the exhibits submitted, the applicant's testimony, and the staff report findings and recommendation, the windows section of the Historic District Design Guidelines for the Brooks, Russell, and Walker Historic District and individually designated sites approve. HIST-10042, 2025, finding it in compliance with Section 24-9.4 of the City Code, with one condition that the windows have 4 separate pieces of glass divided as the original were, and we've already, and that they're wood,
Wood is good, and also state true divided.
a true divided.
And that the 4 pieces of glass are equal in dimensions to the original window sash.
And the 4 pieces of glass are equal to the dimensions of the original window glass.
And they're single pane glass.
Single.
Yes.
On
yes.
the lower sash.
Well, single pane, like they're not double glazed, single glazed.
Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
single glazed.
We don't care either way. I don't think that would, it's up to you guys, but I don't think that's a requirement that it has to be single.
If it's historical,
They could do anything
we
they
do
want.
it single
Yeah,
glass.
Single
yeah.
or insulated, it doesn't matter to us. But if you guys want to add
No,
that,
no, I
that's
think,
fine by
I
me.
think you're right on that.
And give them the option if they want to do insulated later, I mean, while they build it.
Well,
But-
typically then the mullion will look,
What's that?
the mullion typically looks a little different with this.
I would say that the depth is, but you wouldn't see it. But it's not, again, I don't want to suggest anything that you guys are uncomfortable with, but I don't think it's something that we need to worry about, whether
Okay.
it's single or it's double pane. My guess is they'll wind up doing single, but if they want to do a double pane.
I think they're doing single anyway, but
It's
yeah.
single, but what is
Yeah.
there now?
It will keep it, it's single now.
I would
Single,
think,
yeah.
historically.
Yeah, it's single,
It's
yeah.
all single.
Yeah, it's all
But if you don't
We'll-
want to
we'll
put that
do-
as a
We'll do
condition.
single glass. We'll do single
That
glass,
sounds
so
fine.
it match the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
But if there is a slight difference, you said the panes should be exactly same size as the existing one. If there is slight difference, I don't think it's gonna.
Slight difference
like
is if
an
it's
inch less
within-
or
yeah.
3/4 of an inch less or more.
Within a tolerance is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the reality of the old windows. They're not all exact anyway.
Well,
They was
true.
not.
But try to get them as close as
close as possible.
possible.
Yeah, I'll make sure to make them
There's
look the
something
same.
called de minimis, which means anything that's very, very close isn't an issue.
Yeah.
But I would say 20% thicker is an issue.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
May I have a second?
So, is everybody okay with the caveats put in? Okay, all right, so we do need a second?
A second.
All right, very good. So for the roll call, if you're in favor of the motion with the amendment, say aye. If not, say nay, or abstain if you wish. I'll call singly. Commissioner LaFrance,
Aye.
Commissioner Feinstein,
Aye.
Commissioner Morgan,
Aye.
Commissioner Roddy,
Aye.
and Commissioner Ventola says aye, so that passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
And thank you for coming in, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for being so agreeable to make the window as original as, looking as
Thank you.
original as
We
possible.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Good luck
Guys,
with
Thank you,
everything.
gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse
Good
me,
to go?
one more thing. For the city staff, just
Sit
to
down, sit down.
please give them the ample, reasonable amount of time
Oh, yeah.
to construct and put in the windows. Thank
Yep.
you.
Good suggestion.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good,
by all
yeah, that was
means.
concerned, but yeah.
By all means.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Okay, next up is we have one historic tax credit certification, which is HIST 10108-2025, historic tax credit certification at 21 Brookes Avenue in the R90 medium density residential zone. May we have introduction from staff, please?
Yes, 21 Brookes Avenue, HIST 10108-2025, application for historic tax credits. This property is contributing to the Brookes, Russell, and Walker Historic Districts. The applicant seeks $11,322.25 in tax credits. This is for in-kind porch removal and reconstruction. This was considered an in-kind replacement that was determined to not need a HOP. This is a selection of the building residential improvement permit that was issued for it. And before photo on the left of the porch and then after on the right. And again, before and after there. Staff recommends that the Historic District Commission certify by motion that HIST 10108-2025 is eligible for participation in the Montgomery County Historic Preservation Tax Credit Program.
Okay, very good. Is the applicant here? And it appears that he or she is not. So this doesn't have to be open to the public. So when I call the commissioner's name, please let us know your thoughts or questions that perhaps Kate can answer. So Commissioner LaFrance, you're up first.
I'd say certify.
All right, Commissioner Feinstein,
Agreed.
Commissioner Morgan,
Agreed.
Commissioner Roddy.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep, not quite. I have big issues with this, believe it or not.
Oh,
I do.
please.
I do. The before and after photo tells part of the story. Did they have drawings? I was looking down at my notes, and when I glanced up, I saw that there was a drawing up. Did you have construction drawings for this? All right. Does it say anywhere that these columns are going to be replaced in the construction drawings? Because we didn't have this available to us until just now.
1 second.
Because I did ask, this morning, and I was looking online for it. I didn't see it.
I didn't go back and look at it
Yeah,
from the
it's-
first time I studied it.
I thought the drawings said they would be existing columns to remain.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
is I didn't see any drawings in our packet. But the packet said that the builder was going to be putting construction drawings in and going to the city for permit. So do we know if they went to the city for a permit?
Yeah, these are signed right
These
here.
are, oh, okay, great, all right. So now, does it say anywhere that these columns are going to be replaced? Now, I'll tell you what, the list of expenses is that these are fiberglass columns. And on top of that, if you can put back up a photo of the before and after from that corner shot,
It seemed like just
Not
did
that.
some touch-up painting.
that right there, the
Yeah.
columns are much thinner than on the before
Okay,
than they are on the
all right.
after.
Oh, no.
On top of that, the ceiling, if you can show an existing ceiling picture. There's another one that shows it better. It's from the right-hand side, or the other side.
These are the only two I had in the presentation.
No, there was one that showed the ceiling itself.
We need better documentation, especially if there's a lot of brush and trees and bushes and stuff. But
You
while
seen it
she's-
All right, there,
replaced.
that was it. With the thumb, I think the picture to the right may show it. There you go.
There you go.
All right, that is just regular board. It may be T&G. I'm talking about the ceiling. And what got built is a beaded panel up in there. Can we show a picture of the new renovation? There's a close-up shot in one of the shots.
This one?
No, there's a close-up of the beaded panel. It's pretty clear. I don't know which one it will be. It's in the proposed or in the newer. Well, anyway, there's a photo of it that shows a close-up of it, but it's a beaded panel, so that's a difference. Then also the porch deck. There's another shot that shows better. If you can go back to the thumbnail one, the one with the thumb in one of the pictures, but the picture to its right. There you go, to the right. Those boards are going perpendicular to the house, but the revised is parallel to the house. So there's all kinds of changes, but my biggest concern, now let me just say this, me personally, if the ceiling, even though it was, I'll assume T&G previously, or just regular planks, but I would have to think that they did T&G. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The new ceiling is beaded, and it looks very different. But in my personal opinion, if it's a wood beaded ceiling, I find that acceptable because that would be considered historic. I don't have any concern with it. And it's going in the same direction as the original, so that's okay. The floorboards, though, are completely different. They're going perpendicular to the original building. I will say that I am not happy about that. Because this is supposed to be a historic renovation and to replace in kind. And we never saw it had any opportunity to comment on any of this stuff. So that's another concern of mine. But my biggest concern is these are beautifully historic columns that only needed some, for three of them, sandpaper and some paint.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they're either sitting in.
I thought that's what it did.
Yeah, they're sitting in a landfill or they're in a historic salvage company's showroom.
Can you go
I
back
think
to
the
the,
description of that did say they were reused in the back, but you're right that they were replaced.
Oh, okay.
But I was looking at the specific description and it said these would be replaced and reused.
In the back.
I don't know if there's a back porch.
was there the drawings, if you can look, go
Well,
back to
why
it.
would they take away?
Yeah.
This is the front of the house.
That's
isn't it?
the one I'm looking at.
I think there was a section,
It's the front of the house. Why would you take away historic columns in the front of the house and put fiberglass?
can you scroll down?
And
onto-
put the good ones in the back, and none of this
Pave
makes
and
sense to
reuse.
me.
And may I
The good news is, though, Frank, if that's true, maybe we can get these put back
There's
on
a-
the front.
Yeah.
I think there was a section later on in the drawings.
And I'd like to mention something now that when I saw the picture up there, I saw
It says,
but I
it
didn't-
says existing decorative columns to be removed, refurbished, and reinstalled for new porch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought I wouldn't.
So we'll get the
Yeah.
bill of sale.
Yeah.
Can we pull that up? Because that's where I saw it, and that's where all the flags went off for me.
Because I thought that's what it
And let me
did.
tell you,
That was it. If you
Yeah.
go one up.
all right, you guys
Okay.
get this.
There
and then I've got one more
is
thing,
a
too.
term that says fiberglass columns, and it's like $1,400. If you can see it, you can look for the price. It'll probably help you find them.
There it is,
All right.
the bottom
so-
one.
Does it say fiberglass columns? All right. And then also there are different diameter. First of all, my biggest concern is fiberglass
yeah.
columns. Take historic
Building,
architecture,
yeah.
pieces of architecture, and you replace with fiberglass. I'm not very comfortable with that at all.
No.
But the other thing too is that the diameter has changed significantly.
They didn't meet the terms of the contract,
No.
the permit drawings.
Exactly. The big key is replace in kind, and it certainly wasn't. So, based on all of that,
And may I mention one more thing?
please do.
Could we put up, before and after deck photos, please? Because I just realized this when I saw it in the larger picture.
These?
Not that one, on the side view.
Those.
All right, now this is important.
Yeah.
The one on the left, now I know that the porch is in very good shape, but see how there's a slight slope?
Well,
All right, but the one on the right, there is no slope. My porch at home slopes so
Well,
that when it rains and snows,
that's a good
the
point.
water goes, and there should be a slight slope. to
Stop,
that.
slope. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe there is, though. I don't know if
okay.
there is or isn't. Now,
But
I'll say the
I'm just
slope
gonna
on the
say
left.
it's possible.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's a good point. The slope on the left, I think, is mostly because it's crumbling.
I understand.
And I do.
Well, it's extreme, yes.
Yeah, but I do
True.
agree that a porch probably should slant,
But
otherwise.
if you got a
it's gonna
marble
water.
on that, is it gonna roll off or is not?
Well, that's,
See, we don't know.
that's the real question. And
Right.
I would say that that's up to the homeowner, or is it up to us? Because if it's gonna have water ponding on it, it's not going to last as
I
long.
think it would be up to the city when it comes to possibly code, maybe
I
not
don't
even
know
us
if there's a
for
code
us to
on that.
look
Do you
at.
know
I
of
don't
anything on a code
No.
on that? I don't
But you
either.
want water leaving
You
the
want,
house,
you
not
want it to be at
going
least
to
an
it.
eighth inch per foot.
Right.
Generally, water should be at quarter inch per foot, but,
Yeah.
it'll at least drain at 8 inch per foot. So, but it may be or may not be, I don't know.
Do we have,
That's a good point.
do we, on those drawings, does it show the decking change direction?
It just looks too even to me, and that makes me a little nervous.
Well, I'm in agreement. I mean, it should slope a little, otherwise it'll get ponding, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And does anybody know what the material is for the roofing? The original is standing seam aluminum, brushed aluminum. Does anybody know what's put back on? Here's a note. What does that note say?
That isn't true. Okay.
Can we zoom in? Does anybody can see?
I can't
it?
read that there.
Sorry, we're looking for the roof or?
Yeah, the roof, because it looks like I thought an arrow. I guess it's only to the connection.
Yeah.
I believe
I think we have
it's
to
They didn't
zoom.
call it out
Metal
on that,
roof.
and
It should be in the list of materials.
I looked, I couldn't figure it out.
Oh.
I didn't even see it in the list of materials, so.
On the section, does it have it?
What's that?
If you scroll up a little bit to the section.
No.
Keep going up a little bit. One more. Okay, what's that say?
It actually looks like diagonal. Maybe that's just a graphic.
I think it's a graphic.
It's weird because the way if that's the floor, if that's the joists,
Okay, what's that?
It doesn't say there, existing
It's
portico roof to be
existing.
approximately 8 feet from finished decking.
Okay, that's kind of strange. They didn't put the material on it. They didn't call it out.
none of the photos of the new show it.
Wow.
So what do we, I mean,
That's why I was going to drop it all in your own lap, all you guys' laps.
I know.
Yeah.
No, we should not certify until it's all straightened out with the city staff. They're gonna
Well,
have
the
to go
question
back
though is, can we offer direction of things that are important to us? Or are you saying every single thing that they changed is important? I'll say, I personally am not concerned that they changed the ceiling to beaded panel, provided that it is a wood beaded panel and not like a fiberglass.
Agreed.
I am okay with the floorboards being changed because I think they're wood, aren't they? The new
I
floorboards?
couldn't tell if it was wood or tracks.
Yeah, you know what? That's another thought I wanted to bring to the table. For contributing resources, I am rethinking Trex for contributing resources.
Me too.
I don't think a contributing resource should have Trex. That's my own personal opinion. Maybe it's not appropriate for this if this is wood to wood.
Well, it's
It's-
a front porch. Let's
It
not
says
forget
1
that.
inch
We
pressure
gotta be
treated decking,
stricter.
so it says on the notes that it's wood.
Wood, great,
wood, okay.
great.
But was that what they put in the,
We don't-
Well,
the bill of sale, does it say?
I didn't see, I didn't notice offhand, because to me, it wasn't an issue. I was looking for the beaded, I didn't see it on the list, it could be there. And I didn't see the roofing, even though it could be there.
Can
Can
we ask for reinspection by city staff?
Sure.
And then they can notate everything that we're concerned about and I don't know where it goes from there.
I mean, I think to some degree, if the city approved it and gave a permit, as long as it matches the permitted documents,
Then
then
the city
the
will
city's
move in.
okay with it.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
it may not be
Still
eligible
brings
for,
you
it may not be eligible
Yeah,
for
well, that's
for
just
credit.
it. Whatever is on the permit drawings, the city itself can't say that that is a violation if it's on the construction drawings. But we never saw the construction drawings, and it's supposed to be replaced in kind.
Right, so
And if
therefore,
it was replaced in kind, we would be here being happy.
Right.
right, then, I mean, I think if, there's two steps. First step, the city inspects it and makes sure that it's in compliance with the contract documents, the permitted
Yeah.
documents. The second step would be if it was in compliance with the permitting documents, but it differs from what in-kind replacement, then we can have the latitude to determine whether or not it's eligible for
And
tax
I think
credit.
that's for tonight's discussion. How much of the in-kind are we requiring? I mean, it's up, I think it's in our house right now. This is up for a, was it a certification for the tax credit?
Okay.
But, if it never met the in-kind, then they would have to bring a HOP to us.
That's right. Then they would have
Separately
had
than
to
tonight.
request
Right.
the fiberglass columns
Yeah.
Yeah, because anybody makes a
Particular,
change
yeah.
to a
That's
building
why
without
we're
our
here.
knowledge or
Yeah.
consent,
for quality control.
and it's
Right.
discovered, has to come here.
It's a violation,
right.
yeah.
We just
That's right.
witnessed the previous one, same thing.
That's right.
So it's nothing that, we have all the rights to say what needs to be done in order to make it in kind. Now, my only question is, do we want every single thing that was there back on? You already heard me say my thoughts on that, but I'm only one of five, and I'm open to anything you guys are concerned about.
All right, so hold on. We're concerned about the roof.
Well, if it's,
We
we
might
don't
be
even know
con-
about it, so the city
Yeah.
will just determine.
We have no information on it.
Yeah, we need to
from the
determine
drawing.
what that is.
Roof,
Now, what we
question
can
mark,
do is,
ceiling, question mark, decking.
do we want to say that the
Columns.
certification is on hold till we find out further? Or do
Yes.
we want to certify stuff?
No.
Is that no
No.
or yes?
I don't
wanna-
think we
I wanna
should
wait.
cert-
Yeah,
I wanna
so
I
wait.
want
yes.
to wait.
Okay,
Yeah,
now, do
wait.
we have more than 45 days to have a decision on something?
That's for a historic area work permit. That 45 days wouldn't apply to a tax
Okay,
credit.
okay, so we can come back next month and, by
that's a
saying that we're not going to vote on this. and
Fully
it's not-
separate
Okay,
certification.
because that's important, because after a time period on the HOPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we don't have that here.
Right.
Okay, good, all right, good. Well, then there's no doubt in my mind, let's find out what the heck's on that thing. So we need to find out, I guess the city, Kate notified the city, I guess, to go and look to see if it's built per the permit drawings. Line by line, they should look at. Separate from that, we need you guys to go out and photograph things and take some dimensions for us so we know what's going on. The roof is one concern. We don't have any photo, but look at the previous and see if it's been replaced in
Yes.
kind. The original, I think, like I said, was a silver standing seam.
Yeah.
If the new one is, and we see it in a photo, no issue. The columns, though, are very different.
Major issue,
Yeah, so now if they say, what Frank is saying, that they put them on the rear of the building, let's find that out, I guess, from the applicant, because then they can put them back on the front.
Well, actually looking, and it may be my, glasses as well, but it actually looks, doesn't say, it says replace on new deck and porch, which I think means here. But, you saw the receipt where they're talking
Yeah,
about the fiberglass.
fiberglass,
so
yeah.
There's a gap there.
Yeah,
Bill, yeah,
then,
it's a
then in
discrepancy
your
in that, yeah.
investigation, go
Yeah.
find out if they're fiberglass or the wood.
Yeah.
But to me, even if they're wood, they're a smaller diameter. And I would believe that, well, for me, myself, I would want them back. if
So you're
they're still
looking
available.
at both material and size.
Well, if
Right.
it's
That's
material,
Yeah.
that's like a major
Yeah, it's a major,
issue.
yeah.
But if they wound up being wood replacements, they're much smaller
Smaller.
percentage diameter. So I would like the larger put back.
Yeah, well, the
particularly-
drawings, to me, clearly state that they were going to be pre-installed, so.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is anything that isn't in kind is a violation, that is, it needed to go as a HOP.
Yeah.
So anything that isn't there. Now, but what are your guys' thoughts on, let's take it one at a time, I guess, which is your good idea on it. If the roof has been changed from standing seam, are we all on, I shouldn't say this, do we all believe that it should be changed, or does everybody think that, let's just wait till we find that out, what
But
it is?
it's not going against replacing con.
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
I was speaking and thinking, oh, I'm talking on your behalf, and that's not proper. All right, so then the columns also, we already talked about, and then the ceiling, let's find out what that is. If that's wood, take pictures
Ceiling,
of
deck,
it,
and
and that's up
columns.
to you guys. If
And
you
the
guys
decking,
vote
yeah.
3-2 that they have to be replaced back to in kind, that's fine by me. I'm not worried about it, but like I said, I think it's fine as the beaded panel because it looked nice as long as it's wood.
Yeah.
The floorboards are another issue altogether, like we were talking about, is that if you guys are saying that we want it to be exact the way it was, it's up to you guys. It's the previous was perpendicular to the house, the current is parallel. I'm not that big of a concern on that. If in fact they did it in wood, then I would be okay with it. If they did it in Trex, then I would think that.
That's my main concern is materials.
Yeah, I would like that to be replaced back to original materials. So we find that out as well, guys, Kate and
But
Jasmine.
what does it say on the receipt? Does it talk about the decking at all?
Actually, in looking at that, I thought it said pressure treated.
It says it on the drawings, pressure treated.
Okay.
But on the bill of sale, what does it say?
Pressure treated deck.
It does?
Pressure treated.
Because okay. All right, so pressure treated, that's wood. So take pictures of the end of it, just so we can see if it's like a laminated or like a plywood versus solid. So, all right, so what other things we talked about? We talked about the roof, we talked about the columns, talked about the ceiling, we talked about the floor, the decking. Is there anything else?
You care about the slope.
The slope, that's a good point.
Slope,
Were you able to bring a marble with you?
Just excuse me, I am not an architect, but I know when I don't see a slope.
I do think that's something we'd have to refer to code.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
that's.
Yeah.
I don't know of any code that says something
It
for a
is
porch,
for a porch to
but it's
slope,
just
yeah.
proper construction
Yeah.
methods. Otherwise, you will get.
Yeah.
Now, it may be somewhere in a code. I don't recall, but I will say this, generally on all large roofs, this is not a large roof, you put an 1/8 inch per foot on, whenever they're smaller roofs, you always put a 1/4 inch per foot. On any decking, it would be a 1/4 inch per foot. On any grading, it'd be 1/4 inch per foot. But anything like an 1/8 inch or more, water will drain as long as it doesn't pond or sag in the middle, just from the wood warping. That's why they usually do a 1/4. But I would say if marble rolls, put it next to the house, and if it rolls down on a reasonable path, timeliness, then that would probably be fine, because that's water rolling off, and that's all we care about. But if it's just rolls or stays still, then that's another issue. And then I guess since we can believe that the original did have a pitch to it, then it would have to be thought about as far as them forcing a pitch somehow. I don't know how they would do that without rebuilding the whole thing. Actually, what they could do is just remove all the boards and then put a wedge in and then replace the boards. It's if they nailed the boards, that's hard, but if they screwed them in, that's easy to unscrew. So, all right, what other thoughts? Do we want to look at the brick?
Do we want to look at stairs, anything else that might have
That's a
been
good
done?
point. I didn't notice them in the photos. That is, the original I did, but I didn't see it in any of the replaced ones. The shots looked like they were not shown in there. From my memory, I could certainly be mistaken.
It's hard to see with
There's
the,
vegetation all over it, I think.
I think the key thing is to inspect it and make sure that it's in compliance with the permit documents.
Well, that's the other thing too.
And
It's gotta be-
understand,
it's gotta be
understand what
7,
differences
11
are there.
anyway, you know, it's got to be 7 high, 11 deep.
Because a lot of those things are code issues that may or may not be met. I mean, I assume it was inspected, so,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Don't know. All right, so there's a lot to be dealt with. And then I guess the last thing is, do we want to have contributing resources that are claimed by the applicant to be in-kind replacement come before us? This is not an extreme example. I pointed out five things, but there are worse examples, more extreme examples. These are nuances, but I would tend to think replacing columns with fiberglass when the builder believes it was an in-kind thing tends to make me believe we want to see these things. Particularly, I'd say only if it's contributing resources. If it's not contributing, I don't think I'm concerned whatsoever.
Well, the reality is, if they would have come to us with those drawings
We
before it
never
was
would
done,
have said
well,
that.
it would have said no, because the
Never
drawing
would
said
allow it.
existing to remain.
Yeah.
Right.
So we would have approved it, and they would have put in fiberglass, and we would never have caught it. Yeah.
We would never caught it?
Well, because it wouldn't come back before us. If it was a
Interesting.
hop.
Interesting. It would come
Unless
up.
the
It would come up on the
inspectors-
awards, though. It came up last month on the awards. This one, and I was like, I don't remember seeing this project at all.
So that was, I mean, that's the thing, like, we
That's a good
trust
point.
that our conditions are met in the
Yeah.
field. Like the window we just approved, we're not going to go out and see it again.
Right, but they do have inspections. People
Mm-hmm.
go through. I remember Chris Berger would go out
Mm-hmm.
and just that was part of his job to go look to see what's going on out there, and he found a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that he may have found the fiberglass columns if they are fiberglass. Here's a good point that if they change the diameter, but you know what? At any time, though, they have a permit to do in kind. I don't think there's offhand that there is a statute of limitations on discovering that they did not do what was required by permit.
Well, I think the problem is the buck stops here for the city staff because it may completely go past us. We may never see it. So
Well, that's
the
true.
city
Well, like I said,
inspectors, the people
yeah.
that sit down and do the permits
Well, also
with them,
also the fact that the
all
city
of that.
inspector is looking at it from a life
Different-
safety point of view.
Right, a different.
And they're going to look at the column and say, okay, it may not be what was on the drawings, but it's a new one, so it's probably, in his mind, it's probably better.
but maybe better training so that they know it is a historically designated.
But I don't know if they would ever care. The Historic District Commission and our staff would care. We have to care.
Right.
But I don't think the permit office, as far as constructability and safe construction, I would imagine they would care. Or
Then I
spend
guess
their
the
energies.
question is, can we close that loophole? Is there a solution?
Well, I remember, like I said, Chris Berger would go out all the time and go from project to project and go and look at it and find all kinds of errors that aren't allowed. I remember he found the windows up on, I don't remember the house, but it was the one that was at a wrecking ball. Remember the wrecking ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, 31
Yeah.
Walker.
31 Walker, yeah. And he found a lot of things that were not done
That's right.
properly. So we just need you guys to go out and look at the stuff and see. But anyway, hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully it's not fiberglass. If it is or it isn't, to me, it's not an issue because those columns need to come out because
Yeah.
they're so much smaller than the original. And
They're
if the
just so
original were
wrong,
still
period.
On the house somewhere in the back.
Yeah, good
Wow,
catch,
that
Dean.
would be great. There was one column, the one that was closest to us in the photo on the left-hand end, that looked like it was in real rough shape, but I believe because it's wood, that's the one. It could be refurbished.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
we can do.
I was just very unhappy when I saw
Yeah.
what went on here.
Yeah.
Now, the last one is the brick. It looks to me like they did, I can't tell if it's not as wide as the
It looks
original.
thinner, yeah,
It does look thinner.
but it may
I-
not be.
It may not be, because
Yeah.
here's the thing, if you compare one long brick to this short brick, like one stretcher.
It matches, yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
I just think it's taller, so it
Yeah,
makes
brick.
it look thinner
Yeah, maybe.
It's different.
because the old ones were sinking.
Yeah.
It's-
yeah.
Well, the one
Yeah.
thing I do know is there's lots
Yeah.
of codes and
Yeah.
updates and reinforcements that have to be done to an original porch
Yeah.
to make them code.
And you don't know if they're
proper
using
today.
King Normans in one spot.
Say that again?
You don't know if they're using King Normans in one spot.
Oh, okay, right. Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, but from looking at the picture, I don't think that the deck slope.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no code that mandate that the
There
deck
might be,
should
I don't
slope. But
recall.
it's good practice.
Well, it's
good practice to
any
to
architect
slope,
that didn't
slack
put a
the
slope.
Yeah, it's good
It'd be
practice
like,
for drainage. Or,
Yeah.
Just look, if we
issues.
get a heavy snow with drifts,
Yeah.
right? it's gonna sit
Water
there
run
for a
off
while.
because the water gonna
And
sit
you
Well, it
there.
has
want
to.
the
What's
water
right,
to run
yeah.
off, and
Yeah.
you want it to slide towards the
It
end.
has
I
to.
know.
It has to have a pitch, to just,
Yeah.
otherwise it will start to ruin
Pitch
the
it
construction.
away from the house.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely,
that's good practice.
absolutely. But based on good practice, it might be in a code somewhere. I never came across it. This was something that never came up because no one would ever challenge it. It's like,
Right, because
it's
like
like
you
if an owner
said,
says, no,
yeah.
why do I have to do that? Then I go into the codes, but this is to me, you have to have a slope for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So bring your marble. Let's see if it works. If it is really slow and then starts slowing down into a stop, then it can't work with rainwater. Anyway, all right. Any other thoughts on anything? Do we need to vote on postponing this? Frank, do we need to vote on postponing it?
I would suggest deferring it
Okay.
until the next meeting in June to give staff a chance to look at the items you've already identified.
Okay. So what Frank just said was a motion that I second.
I will second it.
Is that acceptable?
We need more data.
All right. And then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Okay, very good. All right, then, next and last, anything from the commissioners? Mary Jo?
No, but I just want to say thank you for catching those because I did not relook at the record.
I thought you guys were all going to attack
So-
me after I said,
No,
I was like, I was
appreciate it.
going up a hill. I was
I
fighting
think-
a big.
You brought your receipt.
Wonderful.
So we couldn't do that.
By the way, it
Thank
never
you.
stops me if I think.
That's why there's
something's an
5
issue.
of us, so we can, have
Yeah,
different sets of
5
eyes.
eyes, so 10 pair,
That's
5,
right.
10 eyes, 5 pair. Anyway, all right, so postpone is 5-0. And so, okay, so Mary Jo, you're up. Did you already relay?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you. That's all I got.
Wonderful, thank you. And Mark?
Nothing, thank you.
And Rudy?
Nothing. Thank you.
And John?
No,
And I have nothing either. All right. Anything from staff? Jasmine?
Nothing from me.
Nothing? Okay. Kate?
First, I want to apologize that I didn't catch all that on that application. That was a building permit that Chris Berger reviewed, and the inspection was signed off on everything, so I just assumed it was good. I should have looked over it more thoroughly, so I do apologize.
That's okay.
That's
This
okay.
is what happens, and that's why we talk to each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's a valuable lessons learned thing. Let's learn from this, us, ourselves too.
Yeah.
So do we want to table the idea of in-kind replacements on contributing resources to come before us? Table it to another time? Or
Well, I
do
think
you want
there, I mean,
to
we've
do that now?
already addressed that in the past. I think there is it's a bit of a gray area what that line is when it's, more than a typical in-kind replacement. Like this is a major element to the house versus in-kind replacements of smaller elements. So I think there is a sliding scale that the staff can decide
And for
upon.
future reference, this is definitely something I feel would have gone to the board. Chris didn't think it was necessary, so. But this is something big enough that I feel like I would have brought it.
Yeah, it's the main entry to the house, so it's a significant piece. But I
Yeah.
agree with you. I mean, we made that decision a few years ago when we allowed for in-kind replacements not to come before us.
Right.
And I think it was a valuable thing to do because a lot of these elements that had been coming before us were so minor that it wasn't really necessary. But I think Kate is right that if it's something like this, that I think she would say that, like we say, that it's important.
What would be some examples that you're thinking of that are in-kind replacements that are so small that we don't have to worry about?
If it was just the decking, for instance, and they were replacing the decking of the porch, it's just, and replacing it with the same material, that doesn't need to be coming before us.
Okay.
I'll wait till last, but I do have one more thing I forgot
Jump
to
in. This
say.
is just, we're closing up shop, so just jump in.
I've been really fortunate. I attended the Maryland Historical Trust Architectural Fieldwork Symposium. Oh, it was so good, guys. You really missed it. It was awesome. I loved it. Caitlin and I, she was my transportation. Anyway, it was really cool. And then I went with Kate to our training, and I didn't see any of you there. I was
Training,
wondering what
training? We had
happened.
training? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Um,
Do you know that?
in Rockville.
Damn.
I didn't
It
know that.
was, what was it, 2 Saturdays
heard
ago?
about it.
Right?
I sent it to you guys, the flyer. It wasn't
Yes,
like a
that was-
Rockville,
It
like
was doing
partnership.
regular-
It was just an extra training opportunity.
That was,
It was just
Oh, an
something they
extra.
were putting on.
Oh, it's not the official one we do, okay. I have.
no, I thought it was, well, it doesn't matter.
I have like
went to
30
that too.
credits a year I have to have. I don't,
There
I'm
you
trying
go.
to reduce my training.
Anyway, it was really cool. They did the courthouse history. It was built in 1931, not the old original one in Rockville that's brick. They said a little about that and then about the courthouse that we were in. Give us some history. They talked about a teacher, Mr. Gibbs, who sued the school board in 1964 because white teachers were making twice as much as
Oh.
black teachers were.
Wow.
And they won the suit, but he was fired within the year. But these are
You're kidding.
important historical stories that we should, you know,
He
keep
brought a
telling.
suit and then he got fired for it?
So, but
Rest
these
in peace.
stories are important, and anyway, I really enjoyed it. They talked about solar power for adding to historic structures, and what does that look like? Maybe outbuildings, maybe certain sites not seen from the street. But there's a new material that's being developed that is a film that goes on your windows. Now that's exciting. Because then there won't be that whole mess or any walking on a roof or anything like that. So I just wanted to give you guys a taste of the different things that we talked about. And anyway, it was great. Sorry you guys missed it.
So am I. All right. So we hit Jasmine, we hit Kate. Frank, you're next in line?
Do you have a
Sorry?
Two more.
Oh, you had more. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
I wanted to clarify the condition for the first
Oh.
top. So I had, you guys approve the application with the condition that the new windows will be true divided lights with 4 separate pieces of glass in the upper sash in equal dimension to the original.
Correct.
And the other thing was I had one administrative approval for a non-contributing building at 26 Brookes Avenue, which was for window replacement.
Okay, thank you. That's another example.
Right. That's fine.
Is it wood to wood?
It was aluminum clad
Oh.
for non-contributing, so.
Yes.
No, no, no.
Very good. All right. Anything
That was
further?
added to the zoning ordinance when that was updated. Material changes for non-contributing buildings.
Yeah, I'm not worried about not contributing as much. Yeah. Anything further?
That was it.
Okay, all right. Then Frank. Anything
No.
from you?
I think the only thing I would say is I had started over a year ago working on, the idea came up in discussions that for new attorneys, we really need to do something of a substantive training program on all the stuff we deal with. Not just talking about it, not just learning by experience, but actual setting out the subjects and doing a training program. And I thought, well, that makes great sense. And if I can come up with a dozen or maybe 14 topics, that'll be pretty good. And I remember sitting down and coming up with those, and I did that. And then having been working on them since then, and actually presenting some to the, presenting them to the citywide. Looks like we're going to be at a total of 78 half-hour trainings for new
Whoa.
attorneys, 78 topics,
Whoa.
which will be, we may be one of the, I'm not aware of anybody else that's got something, and there's reasons for that, having worked on it for over a year, I can tell you.
Wow.
But the last one I worked on today was actually, not the last one, next to last, was the Historic District Commission, and then when you do a training like that, you have to go through the details of state law, and also the details of the city code, because you have to, it's not a matter of presenting, here's what I think, it is, here's what the code is, and here's the site, and here's what it says. So, So that's one reason why, probably why I was so up to speed and saying, here's what the 45 days refers to.
Thank you for that.
So, in any event, just as an FYI for that, that'll be, yours will be part of the overall training that's provided as well.
Great.
So,
Well, thank you. That sounds wonderful.
well, thanks. They've said about writers that they actually like completing the book more than starting. And as I come close to finishing with this whole set of trainings, I'll be glad it's done.
True.
Very good, very good, very good. All right, anything else from anyone else? Last call? And I see and hear no one. We are hereby adjourned. Thank you, everybody.